If you've got a plan, put that plan forward.
Joining me now is Republican Senator from Missouri, Roy Blunt. It's good to see you, Senator. Let me follow up on what you just heard the president say. What's your plan?
Well, we will have a plan, and of course the House Republicans this week are developing a plan. On the Senate side, we're not in the majority, so we're not going to be able to produce a budget here. I think really the president on the big questions of entitlement reform has to lead. He's got the bully pulpit, he's got the microphone. This can happen. People are ready for these changes to be made.
There are people who are saying that you should do one thing at a time. Right now, you need to deal with the budget. You need to deal with the here and now, that we're looking down the road for when entitlements really get into trouble, especially Social Security. Leave that for the next session.
Well, the president's budget doesn't do the things that need to be done right now either. I mean, this idea that we spent 24% last year than we spent in 2008, and the solution to the problem are 24% in the discretionary part of the budget. The solution to the problem is to keep spending 24% more than we spent in 2008 for the next 5 years. Chris, nobody believes that's a solution. We're going to have to spend money at the 2008 levels or below. We have to put defense out there as well and look at what kind of cuts can come there, and we need to work with Secretary Gates to do that. But it's time to talk about these other issues as well. They're not addressed in the president's 10-year window, and everybody should be concerned about that.
Okay, well, always in this kind of situation, the devil's in the details, and there are some pretty clear battle lines being drawn between Republicans and Democrats. Let me play for you, Senator, what Ed Markey had to say yesterday.
Republicans have tilted the fiscal scales in favor of big oil at the expense of big bird. They don't want to cut out the $43 billion in tax breaks for the oil industry, but at the same time, they want to cut the budget for children's television programming in our country.
So are you in favor of keeping subsidies for the oil industry and cutting off TV programs that little kids love? That's how they're characterizing it.
Well, I'm very fond of Big Bird, just like apparently Ed Markey is. But the president made the same observation in the State of the Union. That's an easy target to talk about oil companies and their tax breaks, but their tax breaks are to encourage them to create jobs in the United States as opposed to other places in the world that have oil too. We should be concerned about jobs and taxpayers in the United States. Where are the private sector jobs, and why is the federal government spending so much money are the two big questions in America today. And frankly, the president missed those questions in the State of the Union, and I'm sure Mr. Markey's comments on the House floor missed those questions as well.
Let me ask you finally, we just got handed a statement from the State Department, a senior State Department official saying that Hillary Clinton has made a phone call to the foreign minister in Bahrain, expressing deep concern about recent events and urging restraint moving forward. Of course, referencing the violence that happened when protesters were gone after by police with batons, with tear gas. We heard from the New York Times' Nicholas Kristof just a few minutes ago. He was at the main hospital, which is absolutely overrun with the injured. Let me get your take on the situation in Bahrain right now.
Well, Chris, as you know, I'm on the Senate Intelligence Committee. I used to serve on the House Intelligence Committee. I'm going to see Senator Clinton later this morning, and clearly we have to be concerned about the best way to create a real democracy for people that want it. And stability and democracy are what people in the Middle East deserve. The old tactics of shutting down the television station or controlling the telephone lines don't work anymore. People understand that these movements are occurring around the world, and they want to be part of it too. And interestingly, in Bahrain, Egypt, and everywhere else, what you see is a lot of young people, and nobody's burning the U.S. flag. It's not that the United States becomes the pattern they want to follow, but this is about their country and more freedom, and we should be on the side of freedom.
Senator Roy Blunt, thanks so much for taking the time to talk with us.
Bet.